very good afternoon to all of you. I'm Sayukta from Beautiful Spotless Skin team, and I'm sure all of you must be doing really good. Today we all are here in this Insta Live to talk about a very important topic, which is acne management. So what is acne, how it is caused, what are the various grades, types, how to prevent acne, what to do when we have acne vulgaris, etc, etc. So today our guest will be Dr. Natasha V, a renowned skin expert from Thane, Maharashtra. So Dr. Natasha is a seasoned dermatologist and hair transplant surgeon with a decade of experience in the field, holding an MBBS and MD and a fellowship in hair restoration. She specializes in cutting edge treatments at Violet Aesthetics in Thane, Maharashtra. So her special interests includes metabolic medicine, laser science, advanced hair transplant techniques, etc., etc. And with her today, we'll embark into this journey where we'll talk about acne vulgaris, acne management. It's very important to understand what to do and more importantly what not to do in case you have acne. So today our topic is acne management, and we are going to join by Dr. Natasha V shortly from Thane. A routine we can follow which can make us more confident, our skin more radiant, more healthy, and can go a long way in preventing acne. Plus, what lifestyle can we follow? We all know a healthy lifestyle is what we need. And what kind of a lifestyle? How important role does diet plays in case of acne? And stress, sleep, physical activities, everything goes a long way. So we are just waiting for our skin expert, Dr. Natasha V, to join, and then we'll start the conversation where we'll try to cover everything, almost everything about acne and acne management. And viewers, in case you have questions regarding acne, please write to us in the comment section and we'll definitely try to take your questions as well. So this session is all about acne and acne management, and our guest of today is Dr. Natasha V, who is joining us from Thane. So we are just waiting for her, and then we'll start our session, which is going to be a very informative and very interesting because acne is such a chronic skin condition and it's so common. Almost all of us had gone through that phase of acne vulgaris. So today it's very important to talk about acne management, and here we go. We have with us our skin expert, Dr. Natasha V. A very warm welcome to you, doctor.
Hi, Sanyukta. How are you?
I'm good, doctor. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, good, good. Hello, everyone
Great to know,
watching
doctor.
as well.
I know. So, doctor, acne is something, this topic is so close to all of us because most of us has gone through that phase. I'm currently also having acne because of meditate, etc. So it's such a, troublesome thing. And we all want to know more and more about acne because I think with acne management, it's more important to understand what to do and what not to do. So to start with, doctor, what is acne? How it is caused?
Okay, so great. Let's start with basics. So, a fun fact is that the word acne, which is a scientific word which is used for just, what normal people call as mohasa or pimples, came
Simple,
from
yeah.
the Greek word called as acme, AKME, and that actually means a peak or the tip of a peak. So, pahad ka tip
Okay.
jo hota hai, from that's where the
Uh-huh.
word acne came, and that's literally what acne happens. एक पिंपल आती है जो surface से raised है and it's like a पहाड़ का peak. So that's how the word acne came. And acne basically क्या होती है is it's a blockage in your sebaceous gland. तो जब हमारी pore block हो जाती है with a lot of dead skin, bacteria build up and then oil or sebum सब साथ में होती है, that's when a small pimple, blackhead, whitehead, one of those form, and that is what acne is, and that's why it forms.
Right. And after, as a layman, we say, blackhead ho gaya, whitehead ho gaya. Then we have those big acnes, which are really painful, filled with pus, and many a times it looks like a cyst. So what are the various types of grades of acne?
Okay. So to understand the grades of acne, पहले we'll just discuss the four main types की कैसे pimples दिखते हैं for us.
Right.
तो सबसे पहले you have something which is known as a blackhead, जो हमें सभी पता है. It just looks like one black dot that is there on the skin. Second, we have something known as whitehead, which is exactly like a blackhead, but it has no black tip on it. The third one is कि you'll feel like a small pimple या गांठ या like a raised thing from the surface that is known as a papule, and उसमें pus हो तो it's called as a pustule. So when we're talking about grades of acne, what happens is that the first stage is blackheads and whiteheads predominantly. So छोटे छोटे blackheads, whiteheads all over the face. सेकेंड स्टेज में ब्लैक हेड्स व्हाइट हेड्स भी होते हैं बट उसके साथ यू गेट पैप्यूल्स एज वेल विच इज नोन एज पिंपल्स. थर्ड स्टेज में यू गो अक्रॉस उसमें पस भी बन जाती है तो इट्स समथिंग विच इज नोन एज अ पस्ट्यूल. एंड देन छोटे छोटे जो पैप्यूल्स है दे आर बिगर इन साइज सो दे आर कॉल्ड एज नोड्यूल्स मतलब गांठ जैसा दे फील. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट लीस्ट फोर्थ स्टेज में ये सारे मिक्स होके यू हैव समथिंग विच इज नोन एज cysts forming also, which are big nodules which join together to form many big pimples. So that's known as cysts. So ये are the four main stages जो होती है of acne.
And when we talk about acne, it becomes even more important to talk about the post-acne marks and scars because acne eventually लगता है कि ये तो चला जाएगा.
Yes.
But the marks, the scars, they look like they are forever, ever and ever. So,
Yes.
doctor, is it important to treat acne as soon as we spot them so that, does it reduces the chance of having scars, etc.?
Definitely. So if you treat your acne when you first notice that one pimple or one blackhead, whitehead, what happens is you start using skincare to prevent further acne from forming. And in the end, if no new pimple is forming, then no new black mark is being left. And if no new pimple is becoming one big ghat, then no scar ya khadda is not being left back after it. So the best thing is to start treating your acne the first time you notice it, and most of the times that is in your teenage years. So yes, definitely treating your acne when you first notice it is better because you're preventing a mark and a scar. So फिर, that full cycle gets stopped altogether.
Right, because you know what happens when during puberty or as in young adolescence or in our teenage we get acne. Mostly our parents tell us कि ये तो होना ही है. That's a sign that you are growing. A lot of hormonal changes are happening, which is good. और इसलिए उनको लगता है कि शायद डॉक्टर के पास जाने की जरूरत नहीं है because ये तो होगा. It's part of your involvement. Or I think that is one mistake we commit there because we don't go to the doctor, don't seek the right advice, and end up having so many scars which stays with us for rest of our lives. So, what's your take on that? Is it important as young adults or as teenagers to go and consult a doctor?
Definitely. So it's, like for anything, if you have a common cold or a common cough, you're going to try doing something at home for 3, 4 days, like a steam inhalation and taking your cold medications. But if it doesn't get better in 2, 3 days, you're going and seeing a doctor, right? So the same importance should be given to your skin and hair as well. So if you do notice the first pimple or anything, itchy skin, it could be anything, a black patch, a pimple, or any hair whitening. The first time you notice it, if you do go and see a qualified dermatologist, it will prevent anything further from happening. Plus, you will be blessed with good skin throughout as well.
Right. So it's important to go and consult the right person, which is a qualified dermatologist, in case you have acne or any other issue on your skin. Now, doctor, the very first thing that comes to our mind as soon as we spot a breakout or acne is to go and run inside the kitchen, apply something, besan laga lo, multani mitti laga lo, garlic, toothpaste. I'm sure toothpaste companies also don't realize that कि उनका toothpaste जो है दांतों की जगह pimples पे भी लगाया जाता है. So these DIYs, home remedies are so common. We are so obsessed with them. वो work नहीं करता, then we go to a chemist shop for some over-the-counter medication and we start applying the tube given by the chemist. And initially we fall in love with the tube or cream, whatever, because they work wonderfully. Later on, after some time, we realizes that our skin is getting addicted to that particular cream, and as soon as we stop it, there are you know so many acne coming out on our skin. So, what's your take on these home remedies, these DIYs, or going for some over-the-counter topical application?
Okay. So see, most dermatologists and me myself will tell you that stay away from DIYs for your acne. Now, understanding why we are saying that is also important because if someone tells you ye mat karo, you're going to go and do that itself for the first thing at home because that's our tendency, right? Don't do something, you're going
Right.
to go and do that. So the logic
Right.
is, earlier on we didn't have so much science and technology. So we had to make do with things jo ghar pe tha, like dahi or besan or aloe vera or toothpaste for that matter. But aajkal, science and technology has advanced so much. So there are things which are safe for your skin without any side effects like what the DIYs have. And that is why I suggest staying away from DIYs when it comes to your acne because you don't know क्या इरिटेट कर सकती है स्किन को क्या और खराब हो सकती है उसके बाद सो इट्स जस्ट बेटर टू स्टे अवे फ्रॉम दीज DIYs in general.
Right.
More than DIYs, I think the most common tendency जो हमें होती है the minute we see a pimple is to sit and pop it. That is the first thing that comes to your head
True.
before running to the kitchen as well.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. And the logic, what we're saying to don't do that is one is if you're popping the pimple, एक तो निशान छोड़ के ही जाएगी वो चीज because you're breaking the skin altogether. And the second thing is that the pimple it has a thyli inside. So when you pop that thyli, it's going to pop inside as well, and then that's going to make all your acne spread, and you'll get tiny blackheads, whiteheads around that pimple that you've popped. And that is why we say that stay away from popping and stay away from these DIYs and home care remedies when it comes to pimples. सेकंड चीज जो आपने बोली थी इज गोइंग टू द केमिस्ट एंड टेकिंग OTC क्रीम्स जो केमिस्ट वाला भैया और योर नेबरहुड आंटी हैज टोल्ड यू ये यूज करो
Yeah.
सारा एक्ने चला जाएगा. Most of the times in these OTC creams there is something which is known as a steroid, and steroid is something like once you start using steroid your skin loves it, your skin will clear up, but the minute you stop using it or when you reduce using it, it's going to break out and it's going to come back even more stronger, and then it's going to be more difficult to treat it in the long run. So steroid के साथ you'll get that temporary relief and the temporary glow and you'll be very happy कि अरे यार ये काम कर रहा है so let me continue using it, but long run में it's going to have more bad effects for you. So please stay away from them as well.
Okay. And doctor, we often get to listen so much about maintaining a good skincare routine. Now the thing is that again, because we have so many social media influencers on various social media platforms, and they are, always endorsing a product or two. So many skincare regimens are in the trend. For example, Korean skincare regimen, etc., etc., and where it's like you need to follow 10 steps or say 20 bottles of skincare, etc. Now, my question to you is on a practical ground, it's not possible to go for such lavish, or elaborate skincare routine. We need a very basic, minimalistic skincare routine with which we can be more consistent in that. So, what's how would you like to suggest or recommend a basic skincare routine which can also help us in maintaining a acne-free skin?
Okay. So I like to keep it simple. This easier it is, kitne kam steps honge, you're going to do that consistently every day at night. So the first step in every skincare is cleanser or face wash. That's to cleanse your skin. So if you have acne prone skin, you can, opt for a BHA or an AHA cleanser. Works beautifully in just cleansing your pore as well. Mornings, my second step, you can directly, like if you're a teenager or in your 20s, you can directly go on to sunscreen use. Keep it very simple because you're in a rush in the morning. So it's always face wash, moisturizer, and then sunscreen. If you have oily or combination skin, it's better to choose a sunscreen that has a combination hydrating agent like a hyaluronic acid or a peptide or a ceramide. So then you don't have to use two products at one time. Directly face wash karne ke baad, your sunscreen has your moisturizer also in it. Raat mein, you can be a little more elaborate with your skincare routine. So, of course, after cleansing, then you can use targeted skincare. So, what I mean by targeted skincare is कि अगर आपको pimples है, then using targeted ingredients for those pimples. Pigmentation है, तो pigmentation के creams use करो या serums use करो उस time पे. And then top it up with a moisturizer. So, keep it simple. Don't keep more than 3 steps. The thing with Korean skincare is that, firstly, the name suggests it's Korean skincare. So we don't have Korean genetics, so we're not going to have skin like them. And the weather is different in Korea. It's cold. It's not so humid like how it is in India. So you're not going to have those big pores and pigmentation issues as well. So try to copy Indian skincare if you want to copy, and keep it simple to, 3 steps: cleanser, targeted skincare, and then moisturizer and sunscreen. That's about it.
Right. So a very basic, a minimalistic skincare routine can go a long way in giving you a more healthier, glowing skin and take
Yes.
care of your acne worries. We often say, doctor, that prevention is better than cure. Any way we can prevent having these acne?
See, during your teenage years or during menopause years, when there is a hormonal fluctuation, acne is going to happen. There's not something that, you can do to avoid it completely. But definitely having a proper skincare consistent routine will prevent that acne from increasing or becoming worse per se. So that blackhead or whitehead might not increase and become a pimple altogether. Other than that, I feel, acne is a very holistic treatment. Just doing a skincare routine is not going to help with your acne. That acne is going to get triggered if you don't treat what is causing it. So, eating the rainbow. So, eating a very well balanced diet, eating foods of different colors is important. Staying away from, maida, processed sugar, animal milk, a very big trigger. Whey protein. A lot of boys these days take whey protein. That's again a very big trigger for acne. Alcohol, staying away from these things will reduce your acne tendency as well. And then lifestyle, making sure that you're working out, exercising every day, making sure that your weight is in check, because the more your weight increases, the more hormonal imbalance or sugar or insulin overload your body has. And then automatically you start getting more acne as well. De-stressing, even an improper sleep cycle, stressing too much is going to cause you to break out. And then, things like using a dirty pillow cover, not cleaning your phone when you're using it, to makeup, those kind of things also cause your acne. So preventing these things will help prevent an acne, and in return, your acne won't become worse with time.
Right. So, doctor, because we are talking about acne, and it's also important to know when a person or when a patient comes to you with acne breakouts. Are there any tests that you normally recommend, or just by clinical investigation, taking history, etc., you're sure that okay, this is because of this, and this could be the line of treatment?
Okay, so in general, there are no, if you're a teenager, unless it's hormonal acne, there is no, set rule of tests to get done. However, in my practice and in my experience, what I've seen is, low vitamin D3 could trigger the severity of your acne. So the pimples और भी ज़्यादा होते हैं. It takes more long time to heal. A low vitamin B12 causes a lot of pigmentation issues as well. So one is I always get, your vitamin levels checked. I get your sugar and your metabolism checked. And yes, if I feel that there is a hormonal predisposition, एक sonography की जाती है for females to understand कि कोई PCOS या fibroids ना हो. And if it's a boy, then, different other hormonal tests can be done. But in general, vitamins, आपकी metabolism, sugar, and then your hormonal profile can be done. And लोग usually सोचते हैं, pimple is a skin issue, तो blood test क्यों करनी है उस चीज के लिए? The blood tests are only done to understand कि वो trigger क्या कर रही है उसको, ताकि long run में your pimples don't return back. Yes.
So proper diagnosis is important.
Definitely.
And what are the treatment options available, doctor?
Okay. So your dermatologist could suggest various treatment options. Oral medications आते हैं जो acne को काफी कम करती है. Different grades and different types of acne have different oral medications. And don't get scared of taking these oral medications also. It's not a heavy dose, and it definitely will help improve your acne, because think about it, if you don't take that medication, the acne is going to become bigger. It's going to leave you with a scar or a khadda, and then that khadda is going to trouble you lifelong. So it's better to get it treated, at the earliest. There are a lot of topical gels, spot treatments that are available. There are in clinic procedures that help, like peels and MNRF and various other things help. So management of acne is not like, one single thing. It's an umbrella or a basket of many different things. And treating it from all directions is important. Then you'll get a holistic response to it as well.
Right. So the bottom line stays that in case you have, breakouts, pimples, acne, please go and consult the right person, which is a qualified dermatologist. Consult your doctor. Follow your doctor's prescription, because many times what happens, again, it's a tendency कि हमने treatment शुरू किया, 2 महीने का treatment है, 15 दिन किया, and we see that okay, now my pimples have subsided. So why I need to follow the a prescription. तो ये बहुत कॉमन टेंडेंसी हम फॉलो नहीं करते हैं. Again, when there are breakouts, because now we have the prescription, we'll go and take the medicine, start it all over again. So, doctor, what's your take on that? Is it okay to do practice?
I think the question itself had the answer in it कि please self-medicate नहीं करना. And if your doctor has told you that, take this medication for 1 month or 2 months, there's a reason behind that. You'll definitely feel better in 15 days. That means that it's just working for you. But if you stop midway, you're leaving the process, incomplete. And then when you have to restart your treatment, you have to again start from point zero. So I would suggest not doing that. Please continue with the prescriptions for as long as you can, and go in for your proper follow-ups. Go in time to see your doctor again. There will come a time when your doctor will tell you, okay, I don't need to see you anymore, and this is a maintenance plan you need to do. So there is an end point to the entire game. So please be consistent and patient with it.
Right. And there are so many myths associated with the pimple or the skincare routine associated with it. I was reading there was a question regarding it as well. Many times, because you said cleansing is important, that then following with a moisturizer, sunscreen, or a targeted therapy is important. Now with cleanser, many times people, especially those who have oily or acne prone skin, they feel that it's the dirt or it's the excessive oil that's causing the pimples, and they'll keep on washing their face again and again with cleanser, without cleanser, but n number of times. So what will you like to say to them?
You need to wash your face max twice or thrice a day, not more than that. And if you're using an active ingredient in your cleanser, which most anti-acne cleansers will have, then I suggest don't use it more than 2 times. Now, why am I saying this? Is that yes, most definitely these cleansers are pore cleansing. So it's cleansing that excess oil and build up from your skin. But some amount of oil is needed for the skin to stay healthy. And just by overwashing, you're stripping the natural skin barrier. Skin barrier means the defense mechanism of your skin. And by stripping it, you're affecting it, you're damaging it. And in return, your skin's going to be more irritated, it's going to be more red, it could be itchy, your acne could trigger in return even more. So, those are the ill effects of a damaged skin barrier. And I suggest overwashing will cause a damaged skin barrier. So, please avoid doing it. Twice a day is more than enough, thrice a day if you feel like, but then don't use an active ingredient cleanser if you're cleansing so much.
Right. And with moisturizers, especially those who have a oily skin, they'll say that I already am, my skin is, secreting so much of oil or sebum. Why I need to use a moisturizer? So, what would you like to tell them?
So this is the most common acne myth that we hear, that please, it's a complete myth that if you have oily skin or acne you don't need to use a moisturizer. In fact, if you don't use a moisturizer, your skin's going to be more dry and dehydrated because you're using all these oil stripping products in your skincare, and in return it's going to produce more oil because the skin's going to be like, Arey, I'm so dry, let me start producing more oil. So it's actually a complete misconception. However, there's a hack to this. So what you can do is, nowadays, because skincare is advanced so much, a lot of our sunscreens come in with moisturizer. So there are moisturizing ingredients in your sunscreen. So if you feel too heavy, if you use, a moisturizer plus a sunscreen, you can go on to just using a sunscreen, which is a two-in-one sunscreen with a moisturizer plus a sunscreen, and that will do the work for you as well. And then in the night, after your anti-acne ingredients, you can use a moisturizer. So don't skip a moisturizer if you have acne or oily skin, but be smart, and maybe you could use two-in-one products. Use a sunscreen with a hyaluronic acid or a peptide or a ceramide, and it'll do the job for you.
Right. Now, but with sunscreens, there are so many complaints or excuses for not using sunscreen on a regular basis. Many times people will say that I don't like the white cast or the dull effect it gives to my face, or it makes me sweat a lot, or I'm already having so many acne, but I don't want to overlap it with sunscreens, etc., etc. And probably that is the reason, still 70% of our population is not using sunscreen as a routine, regular thing. So again, doctor, how important it is to apply sunscreen and how to choose the right kind of sunscreen.
Okay, great question. So sunscreen, as we discussed, prevention is better than key, and 90% of skin damage or skin aging is because of UV exposure. So UV exposure is ultraviolet rays. And what sunscreen is doing is it's protecting you from these ultraviolet rays. So imagine you're protecting yourself from 90% of the skin aging. And we Indians, what do we notice when our skin ages? The first thing that will happen is we start pigmenting in areas, our skin will become looser, pore size increases, fine lines, wrinkles aa jate hain. Even acne scars look even more deep and bigger if with age. And that's when your sunscreen it becomes the most important, because that's going to prevent all of this from happening. Now, another common myth is, sunscreen use is not needed when you're indoors or when you're at home. But then we have our LED lights, we have our laptop screens, our phone screens. You're all are watching on your phone screens right now. So I hope you're wearing
Right.
sunscreen. Your afternoon schedule was on. But, sunscreen is needed to protect yourself, whether you're indoors, outdoors, it's raining, it's cloudy, whatever the weather is. Coming to finding the right sunscreen, as you said, most people say ki, "Arey, the sunscreen is making me feel sticky, or it's making me look darker, or I'm feeling too heavy on my skin." The again, the question answers it. All these are issues which are very personal that you have with your sunscreen. And I say, picking a sunscreen is like picking up a comfortable pair of shoes. How at a shop, when you go to try your shoes on, you're wearing your shoe, and then you're walking around the shop. At least one chakkar you're taking to see ki shoe bite nahi ho raha hai kya? Is it tight? Is it loose? That's the same logic with your sunscreen. Just trying one two sunscreens, and if it's not suiting you, and then getting upset that Ari, the sunscreens are not suiting, is not a good idea. Try multiple sunscreens, see what's comfortable on your skin, and there are various ones in the market. If you have acne prone or oily or combination skin, go in for something that's thin, lightweight, watery, or gel based, and look for additional hydrating ingredients like hyaluronic acid in it. It'll really help in hydrating your skin without feeling too heavy as well. Sunscreen sprays आते हैं, sticks आते हैं. They're very well for reapplication of sunscreen. So there's no excuse that, Ari, I don't want to put sunscreen on my hand and reapply it. You have a stick or you have a spray that you can use for reapplication. So there's actually no excuse. And there's, any skincare is of no use if you're not going to use sunscreen, because you're not preventing that issue from further worsening. So cleanser and sunscreen, two things is a compulsory. Moisturizer also definitely yes, or use a smart sunscreen with a moisturizer as well in it.
Right. There's so many information on the sunscreen tube or the box that contains the sunscreen, starting from SPF. Okay, most of us are aware of that term SPF, but then there is like star rating, PA plus plus plus, this or that. If we have acne issues, what are the things that we should look for when we go to buy a sunscreen?
So when you go to buy a sunscreen, by rule, if you have acne, if you don't have acne, the first thing you see is SPF. So anything from an SPF 30 to an SPF 50 and above is good enough for your skin. A lot of people ask you, should I take 30? Should I take 60? The simplest answer to this is that SPF 30 gives you about 97% protection, and SPF 50 gives 98% protection. It's about a 1% different. So it really doesn't matter whether you choose 30 or 50, but what matters is you're using the right quantity. So you're using 2 finger lengths of sunscreen for the entire face. And the second most important thing is you're reapplying it every 4 hours. That is important. Consistency and the quantity is important. The second thing you see on your sunscreen is that PA plus plus plus, 3 pluses honge ya 4 pluses honge. That is the protection it offers against UVA. So I suggest you look for something that's minimum PA plus plus. So 2 pluses or 3 pluses is a minimum. And then it comes to, if you have acne prone skin or combination skin, going for a gel or a lotion based sunscreen or a mattifying sunscreen, more silicone based sunscreen. They work well for acne prone oily skin types. Yes.
Fair enough. So sunscreen is very important. Choose the right kind of sunscreen as per your skin type, as per your routine, etc. In case you have any skin issues, and of course, your dermat can help you in choosing the right kind of sunscreen. To go to dermat, consult them. They'll help you in choosing the right kind of, even if it's a cleanser or moisturizer or sunscreen, but apply
Definitely.
it regularly,
Definitely.
religiously. That's
So, something that I do in clinic, I keep I keep a few sunscreens, and I ask my patients to go and try those sunscreen samples on themselves. Go home, see how
ah,
you feel about it. So they go home with one sunscreen here, one sunscreen here, one sunscreen here. And only if you try it is it when you're going to actually start believing in it as well. So
right.
please, yes, try different types. You will find some that is suitable for you, or just go and see your dermatologist. They'll suggest something that would suit your skin.
Mhm. Sunscreen also works as an anti-aging cream. I've heard many people, many doctors saying that, take sunscreen as an anti-aging cream.
Definitely, like
Is
I
that true?
mentioned, 90% of aging is because of UV exposure. So
Mm.
90% of your aging is going to be treated just by protecting yourself against UV radiation. So that's how that
That
term
gives us
comes.
even more, points to go for sunscreen on a regular and routine basis. Now, we have talked so much about sunscreens and, what are the various myths associated with sunscreen. One thing I want to know, doctor, there are also procedures, right? And especially for the scars, for the anti-acne, the post-acne inflammatory marks. Do treatment works or it's just the procedures that you do for those scars or marks?
So there are two types of, sequelae to acne. One is the marks that you get. So you'll either get brown, black, or red color marks that are left behind. Now, in most of the times, if the marks are superficial, then yes, most definitely, just creams and lotions will work for it. But in most of the times, it is a little deeper, and yes, in clinic treatments do help. Chemical peels, micro needling, the Q switch laser works beautifully for these purposes. And definitely, your dermatologist would suggest something for you after examining your acne marks.
Right. So again, you need to go and consult a doctor. I'm getting so many questions by our viewers and about wearing sunscreens at night. No, you don't need to wear sunscreens at night. Because there is a question, doctor. Would you like to answer that? Plus, telling us because reapplication is equally important. So when we need to apply sunscreen and how many times we need to reapply.
So most of the times, I think Dr. Emmanuel sent in that question. But yeah, most of the times you don't need sunscreen at night. But you know what happens in today's time? We're binge watching Netflix, so we are on our phone continuously for at least 2 hours. Lights off, and you're watching something on your phone or on your TV, and the lights are dim. In those cases, that is a lot of UV exposure. And if you are serious about your skincare game, then yes, if you're going to be binge watching your shows at night, then do use a sunscreen. Otherwise, you don't need one.
Especially those who are in the night shifts and they are
Definitely.
working over their
Definitely.
laptops for 8 hours at night. Again,
Definitely.
that's a day for you. So please use sunscreen in that case. So yeah. Now, doctor, because we are talking about the various procedures and various treatment options. Now, there are parlors or saloons. They claim that they also can do the treatments. Plus, quackery is increasing rapidly. How important it is to not fall for these because economics is also associated. Parlors may be way too economic and going to a doctor, but of course because there is procedures, etc. Now, please tell us why it is so important to go to a qualified dermat, especially for these procedures and all.
So this is actually a great question and is the need of the hour. In today's time, we're seeing so many parlors and salons cropping up with,
Mm.
procedures, offering laser procedures and offering facial procedures to the extent that, even the tattoo artist will have a tattoo removal laser at their tattoo parlor. So imagine
Yeah.
that's the end that, we're going at, but please, it's not safe. They don't have the adequate knowledge or information. Please go see a qualified MD dermatologist for your skin issues. Now, a simple example. Old zamane mein is also the a tattoo artist where they sit by
Mm.
the road and with a stone they'll make the tattoos. A lot of
Kudvana.
streets have them,
Right.
binjis or small tattoos. And then there are professional tattoo parlors as well where you go and you get professional tattoo ink wala tattoos. What is the difference
Ah,
between the both of them? You would of course choose to go to a professional, right? Second common
definitely.
example, even if like a lot of girls out here, you go to the earlier when you used to go to the parlor for waxing or for eyebrows or for threading, you'll be like, "Arey, that parlor wali auntie does it well, so I'm gonna go to her to do her eyebrows. I don't want to go to someone else who's gonna spoil it." That's the
Ah,
same logic. Experience matters and knowledge and
correct.
qualifications do matter. So even with your skin, why are you taking a chance? If you had a heart issue, you're not going to go to a pediatrician or to someone else to check your heart. You're going to go to a cardiologist. So for the same thing for your skin, please go to a qualified MD dermatologist and not a random quack or someone who doesn't have the adequate knowledge about the skin if you'd like to take care of your skin. Yes.
Right. I think we are more serious with our internal organs. Kidney ka issue hai, will go to a nephrologist or at least a doctor. A physician will approach first. But with skin, we are so lenient. We do so many, experiments and will experiment with a lot of products, DIYs, etc. Over the counter medication. लेकिन जरूरी है because skin is our largest organ और it do demand some amount of respect और skin जो है कहीं ना कहीं हमारा जो inner health है whatever is going inside us it reflects तो अगर skin अच्छी होगी healthy होगी it will tell a lot about
Definitely.
you and your inner health. So take
Definitely.
it seriously. In case you have an issue, please go to the right person, which is a qualified dermatologist.
In
Now with
fact,
acne doctor,
in
yes,
fact, I'd
doctor.
like to add here as well, since we're on the topic. I get a lot of patients coming in with a lot of skin changes that show that internally maybe their sugar is borderline, or they might have a cholesterol issue, or they might have a thyroid issue. And they don't realize that if they would have seen a qualified dermatologist earlier who would have picked up on these signs of a borderline diabetes, you could have been saved by the diabetes turning up in the first place. So these are also a few more advantages. Please go see a dermatologist for your skin issues and not a random um, skin influencer or a
Right.
skin educationalist for the same.
एंड कई बार क्या होता है डॉक्टर या क्वेकरी के पास अब जाते हैं तो अगर केस बिगड़ गया अगर कुछ गड़बड़ हो गई देन दे डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू एटलीस्ट डॉक्टर्स हैव दैट फैसिलिटी वेयर जस्ट इन केस एनीथिंग गोज आउट ऑफ हैंड एंड दे नो हाउ टू टेक केयर ऑफ इट तो वो
Yes,
भी कई केसेस होते हैं
that's
जो
what
आते
it
हैं
is.
सो इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट टू
That's
गो टू द राइट पर्सन विच इज अ क्वालिफाइड डर्मैन डॉक्टर acne patients often ask about whether they can do makeup or in case it's there necessary or they want to do it, what are the things to take care of?
So as a general rule, I don't tell patients not to use makeup unless you're like, a teenager and you're still going to school when you actually don't need it. The reason being, of course, definitely social media and, the trends these days is to use a concealer if you have a small spot or something, but then that's what's keeping you mentally happy and stress free as well. And mental health is related to your skin. So if you're going to stress, ki, "Arey yaar, so many marks are being seen," you're going to get new fresh
True.
acne as well. But then it comes to choosing the right makeup products, which your dermatologist will help you in. There are so many brands that are not suited for acne prone skin or, oily skin. So I would say stay away from those brands. Go in for more expensive, more qualified brands like Bobbi Brown or Dior work beautifully well for acne prone skin. The bases are well researched, so they're not going to clog your pores. They're non comedogenic. They're lightweight. They're not thick and creamy. So those are things I would suggest. So speak to your dermatologist so that they could suggest what makeup products, what brands to pick up and what to use. And the most important thing, if you're using makeup, double cleanse at the end of the day. So that's a common mistake that people do, that they don't cleanse properly after using makeup. That's what causes more acne. And of course, your makeup brushes and the sponges, clean them, wash them every week, and double cleanse at the end of the day.
Definitely, doctor. Now, doctor, before we sum up the whole session, before we wind up the whole session, any take-home message for our viewers?
Definitely. So, have fun with your skincare. Don't get obsessed. Definitely don't listen to your favorite influencer online or your neighborhood auntie or your chemist wala uncle for your skin. Go see a dermatologist. And skincare doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be easy. It can be simple so that you can follow it consistently. And the most important thing is just skincare is not enough. You need to be happy in the mind and happy in the body. So eat the rainbow, have a well balanced diet, work out, and engage in activities that would help you, reduce your mental stress, have a well balanced routine, and your skin should be good to go with your dermatologist's help.
Absolutely. It was wonderful to talk to you. It was so
Yes.
much fun. The
Thank
session was so informative and interesting at the same time, Dr. Natasha. Thank you so very much for taking out time for
you,
us. Thank
Sanita.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
And viewers, thank you. Have a great day ahead. Stay connected with us and keep following us. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.